give us his DFS picks for the day. Any DFS questions you have, send them in to him, or you can send them to his fantasy account at FantasyGDFS. I wouldn't go on Discord. I don't think he goes there very much. So go to his Twitter account and send the questions. And G, let's go.
So basically, just for clarification, since it's week one, the way I do this, I break down each position. Gladys asked me a few questions. I give you my opinion. Again, take this to the grain of salt. Take the opinion how you want. I don't put a gun to your head for you to make your pick. I legit put like a squirt gun, maybe, and that's it, But this is my research. This is my knowledge. These are the players I play in my player pool. I'm not going to advise you to play someone that I'm not playing, and I'm not going to hide picks that I'm not playing, I'm very straightforward. I usually try to post my plays too on Twitter. So add me on Twitter. All right, so let's start with quarterbacks, right? Quarterbacks this week, there are only 4 guys that really, really strongly interest me, but there's one more guy that's probably like an outside guy. Eric. Hey, what's up, Eric? Is Kyler in Hollywood? No, it's not. Especially with Zach Ertz coming back, I think that's going to lower the ownership for Hollywood Brown. But still, I mean, Kyler is one of the guys that I do want to talk about. Kyler Murray facing Kansas City Chiefs. That implied total is pretty high, so I do like that game. And I think anytime that you correlate quarterback with high projections and a high Vegas total, they fit my I have a checklist. Number 1, implied total. Number 2 is total Vegas projection for the team. Number 3 is pace. Number 4 is DVOA, which is their defense adjusted for them, like they're facing. And then number 5 is basically their stack. I want to make sure that their stack worked correctly. And Kyler hit 4 of the 5. The only thing he didn't hit is the total, which is at 23.75. I usually like try to have a 24 point or more. But I like Kyler with his rushing upside. He's one of the quarterbacks. The other quarterback I like is obviously Patrick Mahomes on the other side at 7,700. I mean, he's 10% owned though, so he's gonna be highly owned. You're gonna have to figure out who to stack him with. If I were to rank the stack players I want, it's Kelsey, Juju, and Guy Moore, and then MVS. I'm just not an MVS guy. That motherfucker dropped more balls than when kids drop their puberty. They hit puberty.
Wow.
But I mean, coming from a Packer fan, he probably knows a little bit about MVS dropping balls, huh?
But don't even get me started. There's a reason he just walked away for free. I mean, Aaron Rodgers needed a wide receiver, and they just let him go. One other remark on Kyler, too, real quick. This is the perfect time of year to use Kyler in any format because, the biggest concern with Kyler usually is that second half of the year when he's got a lingering issue with injuries that, hampers his performance. Right now, this is usually the time of year we see him play, and it's, is Kyler going to be in the MVP conversation? Because he has a few good weeks right off the bat. But hey, Gerson, nice to see you in the chat as well. Thanks for joining today.
Hey, man, I got to be everywhere, But no, I agree with you. I think the time you want to play Kyler is definitely the beginning of the year because we've seen him the last 2 years where he has this, oh my God, he's quarterback 1, And the next thing you know, okay. No, he's not. Next guy I want to talk about, and this guy's probably going to be my number 1 quarterback. Like this guy, I'm going to have in my $333 roster. I'm going to have him on my GPPs. Not all, he's he's going to be the number 1 guy. And I've been hyping this guy off in the off season, and I've been talking about him quite a bit. It's Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is my favorite quarterback this week. First, the Lions. Lions are a very terrible defense. I don't care what you saw in Hard Knocks. That shit is just entertainment. I mean, it's like WWE. They set it up for you to get entertained. But give me Jalen Hurts. His price is $6,800. He is a Konami Code quarterback, and he has a new replica weapon with A.J. Brown. And when I say new replica weapon, I don't think people sometimes realize what one weapon can do to other weapon. To open the field for Devontae Smith, to open the midfield for Dallas Goedert, and then they got a new coach. I mean, overall, I think Oh wait, did they get a coach? Was that them? No, it wasn't them,
No.
right?
No.
No.
It's a second year coach.
I'm thinking of Doug Peterson for some reason to the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm like, wait. But they just basically, they're going to improve. And I'm excited for them. And they're facing the Lions. And there's a guy I want to bring it back with, which is Amon-Ra St. Brown. Amon-Ra St. Brown. Definitely him. I'm going to target that game quite a bit. Next guy is Lamar Jackson. I don't know how much exposure I'll have, to be honest with you guys. I do like him, but I don't like the Jets side. I mean, I love Elijah Moore, but I just don't know. I know the people are going to say, oh, Baltimore Ravens defense sucked last year, like their pass defense, but they were injured.
Yeah.
I mean, they had a lot of injuries in the secondary, so they're coming back. But so my top quarterbacks are Mahomes, Lamar, Jalen, Kyler Murray, and then the guy that is probably not going to be on people's radar. And I know people want me to say Justin Herbert, but I'm going the other way. I'm going Derek Carr. Derek Carr is cheaper. He's 5,900. He's projected for over 300 yards in my projection. And to be honest, with Darren Waller getting his contract, he's going to ball out with Renfro, and then adding Devontae Adams is going to be exciting. That offense is going to be moving. Josh McDaniel hasn't had a replica like this in his arsenal since the Randy Moss days. You know, since Tom Brady, Randy Moss, and all those guys. I think they're going to move the ball pretty efficient, and they're going to have to, because the Chargers are going to score on them, so they're going to have to score back. Those are my top 5 quarterbacks. Okay, so put in also maybe Lamar. I mean, maybe, Lamar, and then, maybe Justin Herbert. But it's expensive. It's expensive for me to pay for back with him.
Gerson, can I ask you, what's the price currently on Patrick Mahomes, but also on Jalen Hurts? Because those are the two out of the ones you listed I like the most. I mean, just from a matchup standpoint.
So the Patrick Mahomes 7,700.
Okay,
Jalen Hurts 6,800.
Ooh, yeah. Okay, yeah, I like those two the best. I mean, for me, I just look at it where Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. I think people are questioning him too much, and he's going to prove it here soon.
Well,
the other
thing is their stack. So Kelsey is expensive. Goddard and Devontae Smith and AJ Brown. Even AJ Brown is cheap. Like their value is cheaper.
I'm doing the AJ Brown stack if I'm doing a Philly stack, because everything I've read out of camp is that it's going to be 3-to-1 in ratio of targets for AJ Brown compared to anyone else. Yeah, so that's the route I'd be going.
Gerson, on the Philly stack, would you come back with Hawkinson or no?
I see why. I mean, you can beat Detroit with the tight end, but to me, it's this. I haven't seen Hawkinson get more than 15 yards. I mean, he has. I think I saw a stat that he's only gone more than 20 yards in like 8 targets or something like that. Like I don't see the upside with him for his price tag. Okay. I don't mind him, but I think I'd just rather go Amon-Ra St. Brown. I'm in on Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think he's a good NFL player. I liked him in Dynasty. I liked him in rookie draft when he was a rookie. I thought he was very undervalued the way he got drafted. I was kind of shocked he fell that far. But I just think Amon-Ra, because I think more like when a team is down by so much point, which I think they'll be down, I think the Eagles will pull ahead pretty quick. And then with the whole, what do you call it, grit? Is that what they called it during the?
Oh, I know. Yeah. I didn't watch that.
They're gonna try to, make a comeback. I don't think this game can be like a total blowout. I don't think. I mean, I give it like a -6, for the Eagles. Okay. But it's like, I just think there's better options, and Amon-Ra is the guy that I do want to bring him back with.
Okay. And your wide receivers.
Well, let's go to running back. I'll go position. I'm sorry. Let's go.
Okay, whatever.
Whatever. I have my tab, so I want to keep.
You're fine.
So the number one play for me today is Christian McCaffrey. We've seen this guy when he's healthy. I mean, he's amazing. We know who he is. We know what he offers. I get it. I get people getting nervous about. Where's this? Hold on. I'm trying to mute something. I don't know. I keep on getting a beep.
Is it your Grinder profile?
No, it's my OnlyFans.
That was close.
So I see people say he's injury prone. I see people say, you know, he can't stay healthy. I'm telling you this, it's week 1. He's healthy. I mean, people wanted to flip out about, oh, you hurt his shin. Dude, he got stepped like a cleat grass. That's what they had to report. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I played football before with cleats and stuff. I've gotten stepped on my arm. I've gotten stepped on my freaking elbow. I've gotten stepped on my back. You know, like, they have to report that. That's sad, you know? But CMC to me, the thing that opened my eyes the most was just like how productive he is when he's healthy. To give you some numbers, these are CMC in the last 21 healthy games. What he finished as a running back: 3, 4, 3, 1, 2, 5, 2, 8, 4, 2, 6, 14, 2, 1, 4, 1, 6, 8, 2, 2, 4. So you're going to get top 2 performance, 43%, 9 out of 21. You're going to get top 6 performance, 18 of 21, 86%. Top 8 performance, 20 out of 21 game. I think I like that. I like my chances. And he's underpriced. He's $8,500. Usually this guy, at one point, we were paying $10,000 for him because he was getting 35 to 30 points a game.
Hey, also, I just want to say Kittle was just announced as officially out.
Yeah, I expected that. I mean,
Yeah.
Don't be Ross Welly, though. Don't be that guy.
Huh?
Don't pay Ross Welly. I don't know who the fuck that guy is. I know who he is, but
No, I'm just sharing as I'm trying to see the updates. So, because I mean, when you get to wide receivers, to me, obviously Debo's probably going to be way expensive, but otherwise, you know, that's something to consider at that position. They are playing probably the worst team in the league.
So yeah, CMC is basically at the top for me. I like Jonathan Taylor. Obviously, I'm gonna have him. And then after that, you can sprinkle some Austin Eckler. But I think I'm going to go straight to the mid-tier, to be honest with you guys. There's a lot of great mid-tier plays today, and it's too many for me. Like, it's going to be like picking my favorite nephew, man. Like, I don't know, you know. And I sometimes just lie to them and tell them, you're so awesome, dude. You know?
I was going to ask you though, because you just named like, you know, the top 3 running backs in fantasy. I was going to say, are you going to give us someone outside of the top 3? So okay, you like all the mid-tier guys too. Okay.
So the guys that I'm looking for in the mid-tier, definitely Aaron Jones against Minnesota. You know, Aaron Jones is the number 1 wide receiver and the number 1 running back there now. I mean, it's sad to say that, but that's what we come to. Saquon Barkley, I love him. He's healthy. He's underpriced at $6,100. DeAndre Swift is my favorite mid-tier running back, though. I think I'm going to go quite a bit of exposure to him. DeAndre Swift has he's going to play he's game script proof, and he's coming close to that tier of like Christian McCaffrey usage. Once you see his ceiling, that's what it could be. The usage. I'm not talking about the production. We haven't seen that yet. The usage. 6,800. Gonna be playing from behind. Excuse me.
Sounds like a lot of PPR opportunities for Swift.
Yeah, a lot of PPR opportunities, especially against Philadelphia, who allow the most receiving points versus running back against, you know, in a game script like this. I like him. That's my mid-tier. I think now for value, this is going to be my 3rd running back like tier. I feel nervous about sending this one, but Travis Etienne is a good value. 5,600. I haven't projected for 17 points. That's pretty high, in my opinion, according to other projections I think. But with my model and what I see, this is what I have him for. I just think in this game, I don't know what the weather is like updated there, but Jeff was telling me it looked like it was going to rain over there. I'm not a weatherman. You can go watch Anchorman and figure it out, or go to go Google it. Yeah, go Google it. But I love Elijah Mitchell. I think Elijah Mitchell is one of the sneakiest running back value plays of the week because he's only 3% owned right now in my model. 3%. You got Travis Etienne at 7%. Those are 2 cheap values. But another guy that's going to be like higher owned, like this guy. If you play redraft, you play season long, you already know who he is. It's Dameon Pierce. Dameon Pierce is No, 4,800. I love Dameon Pierce this week. I'm going to have him on a lot of my roster. I don't care about the ownership. But the crazy thing is, I thought it was going to be like 15 or 20%, but it's only at 7%. So any of those value running back are going to be that low value running back that could go off and help you guys out, like move you up into GPP. If you were to play like a Shulk, Shulk means like the obvious. Everybody's playing, you know. There really isn't one in value. So like you could play either of the three of those guys, but I think the one that's the safest for me is Dameon Pierce because I don't really see. I see Rex Burkhead getting some of the pass catching workload, but I'm not like Lovie Smith is different, man. If you watch how Lovie Smith has coached in the past, he's had running back like Matt Forte, full workload. You know, you go back to what was his name? Thomas Jones, full workload. You know, you keep going back to all these coaches, like the way he coaches, he just gives them full workload. But I don't know what to expect from Pierce, but I'm expecting at least 60% usage, you know? That's what I'm hoping for. At that price, I'm going to have him.
Hey, G, do you think any of the Ravens backfield are viable?
No. I get people saying Mike Davis. I'm going to tell you this. You remember Mike Davis last year, week 1?
No.
With the Atlanta Falcons? Everybody was excited.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Everybody was saying Mike Davis is going to be that great mid-tier value fifth rounder. That shit didn't happen last year. It ain't happening this year. Hey, Damien, I'm letting you know, man. Just because you're not speaking, you're not on mute. You can speak too, buddy.
All right.
Don't be nervous, man.
I just don't want to interrupt you, man.
People forget as well, though, like with last year or with every year with the Ravens, they always use 3 running backs every game, even when they have one clear most talented guy that's healthy. Like if J.K. Dobbins was there, they're still going to give reps to 2 or 3 other running backs. And now that he's out, it could be 10, 12 carries for 3 different guys. So I don't know if I necessarily want to gamble on any of them.
It's going to be more carries for the quarterback, for Lamar. This
is the Lamar show.
Yeah.
I'm telling you guys right now, Lamar is playing for his contract. He's going to go out there and put a statement and say, hey, look, hey, I might be my own agent, but my mom was also my agent with me.
Exactly.
Y'all better pay me, you know?
Give mom that 3%. Give mom 3%.
You guys would appreciate what's on my TV behind me right now, or behind my screen right now, is the fact that it's the Bears pregame to the pregame show, and they're actually trying to have a positive spin on the Bears season, which I didn't know you could create one. So it's entertaining.
So speaking of former Raven or just Raven player, I think the smash play of the week just like smash, it's Marquise Brown. Now he's on the Cardinals. They're dealing with a lot of injuries. No Rondell Moore. The last guy is Antoine Wesley. That guy's out too. You can go on and on. Don't tell me Andy Isabella. If you were to put Zach out there playing wide receiver for the Arizona Cardinals, he might just get drafted by Chris Queenberry, you know. And, that's how ridiculous that roster is right now. I think Marquise Brown is smash spot, 6,200. He's being 17% owned. He's going to be highly owned. The other guy I want to talk about is Michael Pittman at wide receiver. I am all in on Pity City, man. I love Pittman. It's going down. This is the year he becomes a top 12 wide receiver. I've drafted him everywhere in redraft and dynasty. I traded for him. 5,500. So cheap for Michael Pittman. And those 2 guys, the reason why I want to mention both of them is because they're our lock of the week on the Going for 2 show, along with Dameon Pierce. So those 3 guys right there are lock of the week. Dameon Pierce, Marquise Brown, and Michael Pittman. But now I'm going to go by tiers on wide receiver. Justin Jefferson, 101 tier, his own tier. I get people are going to say Devontae Adams. I'm not paying $8,100 when I have $7,800 for Justin Jefferson. I'll have sprinkles of Devontae Adams in my car stack, but the one guy I want is Justin Jefferson. I think Justin Jefferson could break the slate today. And by that, I mean he could go out there and get a touchdown and 150 yards. 10 reception. I don't know how healthy or how good Jair Alexander have looked. Maybe that can give me a little bit info. If he's good to go, he'll get shadowed by him probably. But Jefferson is just a different monster, man. I respect Alexander, but I don't think he can shut him down.
Plus, last year they moved.
They
Last year they moved Jefferson all over. So Alexander stays in one place. If they move him all over, he's still going to get his.
The Packers defense is definitely upgraded all around, though. I still I can't argue against Jefferson as a whole because he's clearly the most talented wide receiver. But it's definitely, could be a little bit rich in regards to the defense he's facing. Because I think any other week, the opportunity might not be there the same way. I think it all depends because I think this might be a fairly low-scoring affair just due to how the Packers' play style will be. I expect just Dillon and Jones to get a lot of reps, a lot of dump passes, a lot of handoffs, and then therefore it's just going to be kind of a grind-out game. So that's where the fantasy guys scare me because it's not going to be a potential 2 or 3 touchdowns for some of these guys or 200 yards receiving, anything crazy.
Speaking of wide receivers, I want to ask you, Zach. Sorry, Jamie, I can't ask you about Brown guys because I'm not playing any of them. But
yeah, me neither, man.
I love you, dude. But I love my money too, And Gladys, is your team the Broncos? Who's your team?
Steelers.
I can't ask you a lot about your team either because I'm not.
You're not playing Pickens? What?
Not right now. I will be playing him probably 4 weeks when they realize how talented he is. And I love Pickens. But anyway, my question to Zach is, how do we feel about Romeo Doubs?
This week, I would probably not. I'm more interested in, you mentioned Aaron Jones and the running back portion. For me, if I'm looking at maybe a cheaper flex play, I'd most likely rather play Jones and Dillon because I do think it's just going to be a constant rotation between the two, and especially this week. I think there's a potential chance for Doubs or Watson to have this massive play that turns into great fantasy points. But for me, I look at Dillon and Jones as the primary guys just getting all the workload. So I think it's all year or all offseason they've talked about 1A, 1B. They view both of these running backs as elite running backs, where if they didn't have the other one, they would still view that guy as one of the best in the league. And that's where if they think they're both that talented, they're going to use them and use that to their advantage.
Here's
what do you think about
Go ahead.
What do you think about Tanyan in the red zone with Lazard out?
Yeah.
I'm not worried about the red zone. That's where if you want a cheap tight end play, if you're looking for just more so red zone targets, that's where you'd consider a Tanyan. But otherwise, Doubs, Watson. They're all big dudes that can get lobs from Rodgers. We're not worried about the accuracy or the talent of Rodgers here. It's just about which guy he chooses for that opportunity, and that's where you can't really know, especially week 1. There's not enough.
The thing that Rodgers, everyone knows how arrogant Rodgers is, and all he's done is talk up Doubs. So all he's going to do is try to pepper him with passes to prove that he's right.
Well, he actually talked up Christian Watson last week.
The reason why I asked
Doubs is the play. Go ahead.
The reason why I ask is because he's $3,000. That's the cheapest.
He's cheap.
So my question is, I'm not expecting an incredible game. I'm expecting 4 reception, 60-yard, luckily, or 50, and then a half a touchdown projection. I'm hoping for 25.
He'll outplay his value.
How much is Watson? Is he even cheaper than Doubs right now? Because I know Doubs has all the hype.
Dude, I'll donate money before I play Watson.
I think Watson is.
Tell me a charity, I'll donate right now.
I'm playing Watson over Doubs in a few leagues and have both. There's going to be a breakout player.
Green Bay fan, bro. You'll play any Green Bay player. No, I'm kidding. So let's keep going. So the guys, my core wide receivers are very basic today. Top tier is Justin Jefferson. Mid tier is going to be Marquise Brown, Michael Pittman. And then I'm going to have sprinkled of Juju Smith-Schuster. Obviously, I already mentioned A.J. Brown along with the – think about all the quarterbacks I mentioned. I'm going to have their wide receivers, you know. So just think about it. Alex, you asked best value wide receivers. Well, Michael Pittman's number one. He's just 5,500, great value. I think I would even say Elijah Moore. You know, I have a lot of Elijah Moore at 5,100. People don't realize this, but this is crazy. This is gonna sound crazy. Elijah Moore averaged 27.1 points per game with Joe Flacco. That's freaking insane. With Zach Wilson, he averaged 7 points. That's how bad it is.
Could you tell me what Nico Collins' price is this week? Because I know you were asking about Dubs or that kind of.
Nico's 4,200.
Okay, he's still not as cheap as I was hoping he'd be, because that's like a really under the radar. You know,
I like Nico.
I do like him, but I mean, I was hoping he'd be in that 3 range, and then that could really be something I could push. But yeah.
So basically, the best value wide receiver, if I were to rank him, would be Michael Pittman, be number 1. Elijah Moore, and then if you want to go really down to like bottom of the barrel, it's Romeo Doubs for me.
Duvernay.
Yeah, I mean, people are playing. Well, and this one my sick call of the week. It's Wan'Dale Robinson. He's $3,000 too.
I like that.
And I'm waiting for news, man. Like my news, I'm waiting from beat writers from the Giants and the Packers to tell me Dub and Wan'Dale Robinson are going to start, you know? Because if they both start, like obviously I don't think Dub will, but I think Wan'Dale Robinson will for sure start, because it was weird that I didn't see him in the last preseason game. I didn't see him even in the preseason game where they like played their starters. I mean, where they played like the guys that are going to see the rotation. I think they knew what he had, and they drafted him pretty high, or a little bit too higher than what the NFL expected.
He's listed as the slot receiver, number 1 slot receiver on their depth chart right now.
What I'm worried about is that Sterling Shepard was unhealthy at that time.
No, this was the latest one they put out.
Oh, okay. So that guy, I mean, the mid-tier guy that I'm targeting the most is Rashad Bateman, Elijah Moore. Let's see here. Rashad Bateman, Elijah Moore. I like Sky Moore if you want to be cheaper at 3,800 for a value. But I think my core is very tight today. And it's going to be mostly with my one-off. Like I say, I always have one-off. I definitely like that Kansas City game, you know. Mm-hmm. Juju Smith-Schuster, Sky Moore, and then I'm targeting mostly just all the big games, the total game. I love the Minnesota game. I love the Raiders game. I love the Detroit game. But it's going to be hard for me to pick, like, who's my favorite, because I have 150 rosters, and then I have – but the stack that I'm stacking is definitely for sure the Jalen Hurts stack. Let's move on to tight end. I think tight end.
Before you move on to tight ends, I'm going to bring Jared in, and then you can rush through tight ends so you can go and do your stacks, okay? Cool? All right, cool.
Nobody told me you were bringing Jared in, but okay.
It's a surprise. All right, now your tight ends. Go, because you're going to be late for your stacks before you're putting your things in.
No, you're good. Hey, I'm way ahead of time, so like.
Are you? Okay.
Cool. And for Jeff, hey, he's probably gonna say we're running a little late on the show. Sorry, guys. Well, we might run a little late, but I don't know. So, tight end is very simple for me. Kelsey's elite. After that, I like Dallas Goedert. Tight end's the easiest position for DFS. I'm telling you guys, it's not hard to predict. You go for target, touchdown, and stack. That's very simple. Dallas Goedert. I love Kyle Pitt price, 5,700. This is the lowest you're going to find it all season, so take advantage of it. You're not going to find Kyle Pitt at 5,700 ever again the rest of the season.
You're not worried about him going up against Marshall and Lattimore?
No, because I don't think Marshall and Lattimore is going to cover him because Michael Thomas will play. So
you think Thomas is playing?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
They'll announce the. I don't know if they already announced it, but they probably did. It's already 10. It's already time. But that's definitely Jared's fucking dog. I know Jared. Yeah, I like Kyle Pitt. Let's see. Kyle Pitt, Travis Kelce, Dallas Goedert, Cole Kmet. Love Cole Kmet. Is that mine? Oh, you.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I think so. That's okay.
Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, that's definitely G's phone.
Sorry, I had a.
That's okay.
So my mic. Yeah, sorry. I apologize about today.
No worries.
My mic.
We'll consider forgiving you at some point. No promises.
It just, apparently, this is what happened on Sunday. People just call me randomly. Think I can just answer all the questions when I tell them there's a live freaking show. So basically, what I leave off, Cole Kmet, he's gonna be the second best target there with Darnell Mooney there. But
Oh
to
my
me,
God.
it just, I wanna target, you know, target 3,700, very cheap, in a good spot because they're gonna be playing from behind. Just to me, I mean, hold on. Why did I say Lattimore covered Thomas? Didn't Lattimore play on his team? I mean, Lattimore covered Drake London. Sorry about that. Drake London. Yeah, Cole Kmet. But the guy that I'm really like intrigued by, and I know a lot of people are not gonna like to hear this, it's Daniel Bellinger. He's 2,500, plays for the Giants, the cheapest you can get on a like point per basic, but like I'm not looking for like 20 point, 15 point. I'm looking for like 7 point, 8 point, because that allows me to pay up for like Jefferson. That allows me to pay up for McCaffrey, Taylor. You know, those top tier, my top stack. But obviously, if I don't have Goddard, Pitt, or Travis Kelce in my stack, then I'm gonna go down Daniel Bellinger, try to get him. I do want to give a shout out to Jamie, and maybe I can get a little opinion on this. There is one Brown guy I am interested in.
David Bell.
Njoku. David
Njoku. And the only reason why I'm interested in him because I think Brissett throw a ball, and he's like a brisket. You know, when you pull him apart, you just squeeze it a little bit. That's all I'm trying to squeeze it. You know, just that little juice out of him. Just throw the ball that far to him. But what do you think about David Njoku, Jamie?
Oh, I love Njoku. I targeted him everywhere. Like, I wouldn't even mind starting him as my tight end 1. So if I drafted late, I would just grab Njoku all over. He'll probably get about 10 targets a game.
Okay, because I thought I was just being a homer because I've always been a big Njoku fan. I've drafted him everywhere in like redraft, and I traded it for him in Dynasty. I just love Njoku. I think his athleticism is one of it's elite for a tight end in my opinion.
He was very efficient last year with like minimum snaps.
Yeah. So those are my tight ends. I'm not like tight end is very straightforward. Jared will tell you this. Tight end you don't want to get cute with. Defense, dude. I'll tell you the defense that I like. My favorite defense is the Miami Dolphins defense this week for the price tag at 2,600. The reason why I say that is because all the beat writers, even players themselves in interviews, have said that the Patriots offense that they played in the preseason was trash. They could predict the plays ahead because the coach would not change the scheme. The Patriot player, they don't sound happy with the way their offense is being called. They don't even sound excited the way what's going on, like their scheme. And
Not
this
Patricia.
is coming from a Ramondre Stevenson fan like me. I mean, it's sad that I see all this, and I drafted Ramondre in a lot of places, and drafted him in startup dynasty, and I'm just out on the Patriots offense. I've always been out on the Patriots offense, except for like those little running that I can get value on, But I think this week, Miami Dolphins are going to put a statement. I mean, these guys went out and got Tyreek Hill, went out and got all these weapons. Their defense is going to come out and ball out, and they've had balled out last year. Last year, there was, I believe, 6 games. They got 15 or more defensive points. And at 2,600, I love Miami's defense. They're my number 1 defense. Other defense everybody's going to play is the Commanders. And next year, they're going to change their name to Commando, Going.
Miami's actually become my cap defense. I know I wrote about the Giants earlier in the week, but like Gerson was saying about the Patriots, like we got to remember Miami's won 8 straight games against the Patriots at home. Mac Jones is basically in the same situation as Aaron Rodgers with nobody to throw to and a heavy running attack. But Mac Jones is a lot worse than Aaron Rodgers. So I really became to like Miami's defense later on in the weeks. It was a good point, G.
But yeah, those are my defense. Yeah, I mean that's basically the top stack that I want to do this week is the Eagles stack, the Kansas City stack, let's see, the Derek Carr stack, and I'll have sprinkles of Baltimore stack, and then probably the Justin Herbert and Kyler Murray. But I mean that's all I got for you guys this week. If you have any questions, DM me. I'll try to get to them. I'm just letting you know that last hour is the most hectic hour for me. I mean, I can't promise you I'll answer them, but okay, I'll answer this question, though. Would you guys mind sharing some of your roster construction ideas for this? So I'll make it really quick. With GPP, you want to stack them with 2 wide receivers. No. With your quarterback with a wide receiver, tight end, either one, 2 of them, and then run it back with the opposite team, wide receiver or tight end. You can do a pass-catching running back. Think about it, they have to be playing from behind. That's the only way your running back is going to get points from a pass catcher. Think about like Austin Eckler, think about like Cordell Patterson, think about like DeAndre Swift, think about pass catching running back. On catch game, you want to go with volume and usage. Like it's just the king. And touchdown. And obviously, I know that touchdown is obvious point about the whole game, the name of the game, but volume, it's like you want to play it safe. You don't want to get cute with it. The only position you want to get cute with it in catch game is tight end and defense. That's it. Like you can get cute with those 2, but other than that, volume is king. That's my roster construction strategy. This week, for sure, if I'm playing GPP, my third flex spot is gonna be a wide receiver. Because there's a lot of good mid-tier wide receivers. Elijah Moore, Michael Pittman, Marquise Brown, even at 6,200. There's a lot of good ones. Running back, it's just CMC, Taylor, and all those guys that I mentioned. I mean, it's a tough week. Week 1, save your money. Don't go all in. Don't be that guy, because you have 21 more weeks till the Super Bowl to play, I mean, that's it, Gladys. That's all I got for DFS.
All right. And you have a read for us? Yeah, you do.
Yeah. So basically, we got to pay the bills here. Everybody knows that. So we have our sponsors here. No House Advantage is changing the game by offering the most dynamic fantasy sports platform available today. Play and pick 'em. Style contest versus other people for the shot at winning $150 or more. Download the app, use our promo code GF2, GoingFor2, obviously, and get deposit match up to $25. Choose a contest, select your player prop, earn points for the correct pick, and climb the leaderboard for your shot at big money every day. You can also test your skills versus the house and 20 times your entry, and if you hit on all your picks. Hey, and if you guys need any help, just give us a shout out on Twitter or DM us, and we'll try to answer your question.
Thanks, G. Good luck today.
Peace out, everybody.
Bye, G. All right, guys. So now we're gonna. Hi, Jared.
How are we doing, guys?
Already. Good. How are you?
Wonderful. Excited for week 1. Then.
Yeah, I know, right? It's so good. All right, gentlemen. Eagles or Titans defense today?
Titans.
Jamie, Titans.
I'm going Titans. I'm playing them in my DFS lineup.
How about season long, if they haven't?
I don't play with defenses, but if I did, I would play the Titans.
Okay.
Titans.
Yep.
Zach?
Yeah, I can't argue there.
All right. Do you guys think – oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say that's the one part of that team I still like. I'll take my only concern with the Titans' defense is that their offense is going to be worse this year. They'll regress, and therefore there'll be more time where the defense is on the field, and that could negatively impact their fantasy production if you're in a league with defenses.
All right. Do you guys think this could be a 3 running back week, which I'm assuming means he's going to put a running back in his flex position? Hi, Jackie.
I'm assuming this is a DFS question.
Still
But-
running back in the flex.
I think it can be, depending on what kind of league it is. But like, there's obviously a bunch of really underpriced wide receivers in DFS, but there's also really a lot of underpriced running backs, in my opinion. Specifically, Saquon Barkley to me is just way too cheap at 6,100. So I mean, I have in my exposures right now, I think I have 67% Saquon Barkley, which is a ton. But you got to understand that when you get a value or a player that grades out that well for that price, sometimes you just want to like lock them in. You know, you've heard G say like, oh, I'm going to play 150 lines of a game that he really likes. I know he did it a couple of years ago with Kansas City and Tampa Bay. For me this week, the person that I am almost hitting the lock button on is Saquon Barkley. So, I mean, I think it can be a week where you do see some of these running backs score pretty big scores and not chase the value wide receivers because there's so many of them. You also have guys like Aaron Jones who are at really good price tags. So I think it can be, but ideally, I usually don't go for 3 wide receivers. But this week, I mean, I told pretty much everyone I've talked to in terms of DFS is everybody's underpriced. You have to figure out the value of who's actually underpriced.
Jamie, what say you?
In season long, I mean, it depends on who you have. I drafted early and got Chase Edmonds in like the 9th, 10th rounds, so I would be happy to play him in the flex.
DFS?
DFS, I'd rather just go with the receiver. Yeah, because I'm playing one with like Bateman, Mike Williams, and Pittman.
Okay, fair. And Zach, what say you?
You know, I'm usually pro running back here. I like just the guys that I know are going to consistently get touches. If I'm taking a guy that I don't know is going to be a guaranteed, say, 8 targets a game as a wide receiver, I'm probably going to lean for the guy that gets 20 carries, or at least hopefully 20 carries. And especially this week, I'm going to try and get those running backs where I think their team will be up, where they'll be running the ball more. That's where you want to really question it. If, say, it's a running back on a team that could be down 2 possessions fairly quick, how much will they be utilized then, and how much can they produce for you? Because say if they're down the whole second half and they need to really start throwing the ball, will they be utilized during that?
Okay, so basically it's week 1, so get weird. It's week 1. All right, who feasts between Stevenson and Patterson today? Zach.
Stevenson and Patterson. I'll take Stevenson.
Jared.
I will also take Stevenson because, I mean, I think the Saints defense is really, really good for one. And Cordell Patterson, yes, he had a very good year, but his breakout year came at age 30. I think he's 31 now. Like, I don't think there's a whole lot left in the tank for Cordell, which pains me to say as a Viking fan because I've always kind of rooted for him. But the end is near for him, and he's in a basically a more than a 50-50 split in my opinion with Tyler Adir. I don't even know if I can pronounce his last name, but yeah, no, I would definitely go with Stevenson, even though I don't like either one. I think if you have another option, I would definitely look at that.
I think I'd rather pass on both of them because I don't trust that New England will be, competitive enough or like close enough where they can just primarily run the ball. And I mean, I just don't trust Patterson either. It was fun last year, but I don't want to bet on that to reproduce.
Jamie, what say you?
I'm not a fan of either of them either. I'm staying away from all the Patriots running backs. I did see a notification that Algier is out. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think Patterson would be my option because they're going to be playing from behind. They're going to need to pass the ball to him.
Okay. All right. This question, what she answered, but I need you guys to answer. It's for a DraftKings cash game. Jared, what say you?
Yeah, so I write the cash game article on our website. I know many of you guys have seen it now. This is my third year doing it. The first thing that I look for is just people. I look at people's values. So like the first thing that stuck to me this week, like I've talked about it many times, and G talked about it, is Saquon Barkley. Like he's just so cheap for his expected volume. So I usually start with, I look at everybody's price. I don't like look at a specific position and say I want to pay down here. Like a lot of people will say like, oh, I usually, fill up my whole roster and then I throw in the cheapest tight end that makes the rest of my guys fit. I don't build it like that. I look at every single player and every single value. And then I like to look at match. We talk about Vegas totals a lot, but Vegas doesn't have billion-dollar hotels for no reason. They're pretty good guys. Like if you see the Cardinals and Chiefs game, and you're like, I don't really like it because I think it's going to be low scoring. Well, first of all, you're wrong because the game's going to be a shootout. And you get your players at the good values with the high totals. And then, just make sure they're getting usage and targets. Like look at that. There's a lot of information to be found. Don't just sit there and be like, hey, you know what? I'm a big Jonathan Taylor fan. He's 9,100. Yes, he's destroyed Houston for years, and he's the best running back in the league. But for me, he's like the one running back that's actually priced where he should be, and everybody else is pretty much cheaper than they should be. So that's kind of like how I start my builds, just looking at overall value and then going from there.
Jamie, how do you do your construction?
Well, I'm not really a DFS guy, but I did put together a lineup. So what I did is I took Herbert, stacked him with Mike Williams, brought it back with Waller at tight end, and then just two of the running backs that I think will probably be in the top 12, which is ETN and Edmonds, and then of course Bateman and Pittman, like I said earlier, and then the Titans defense. So I just like high upside guys.
High upside. And Zach.
No comment. I don't do DFS.
Yeah.
I did it when it first came out, and I think it was like 2014, 2015.
Yeah.
But haven't really done it since. No, thank you.
All right. We have a question from Gator who disregarded my advice in Discord, so I'm not going to answer this, although I haven't answered any other questions, but I just wanted to put that out there because my advice was good. Carr or T-Law, Zach?
I will take T-Law on that one. I like more opportunity there. I mean, Carr is the better quarterback. He has the better weapons. My concern is the offensive line. And, man, I can convince myself both ways on that one. That's a toughie because my concern is the offensive line. But even if the Chargers are up early because of a few turnovers from Carr, that means they're going to be throwing more, and they do have the weapons where they can put up quick points. But I'll still probably lean in favor of T-Law.
Jamie?
I'm going to go Carr. I got them in the top 12. They're going to have to pass. They can't run. That offensive line stinks.
Okay. Jared?
It's going to be Carr for me. Again, the weather in Washington looks really bad. I've seen a few games floating around on Twitter where the weather is actually a big concern. Washington being one of them. Chicago looks terrible. Like if you're banking on a wide receiver to have you a big game in Chicago, I mean, it's probably not going to happen. But yeah, Derek Carr, getting a guy like Devontae Adams is a huge upgrade. Carr to me is like a curtains light. Like he always is super consistent, but like it doesn't like have like a breakout potential. So I would look at like how close your matchup is. Like if you're projected to win by like 10 points, I would just play the safe play. If you feel like you're behind the 8 ball and play like Cam Akers, maybe you do get a little different. But for me, Carr is going to grade out a lot better this week than T-Law for me. And I want to be a T-Law guy, but I'm just not there this week.
All right, Jamie, before we go out, give us your sleeper pick and what do you have, running backs, wide receivers?
I'm doing running backs.
Oh,
so yeah, with my sleeper pick, I wanted to pick someone like outside of the top 24. That would be a good play. I picked Rashad Penny. I just think he's going to see the majority of the touches with Walker sideline, and really that Denver's run defense can't stop the run, and I just think he's going to feast all day.
Are you not worried that they're going to be playing from behind?
I mean, they're still going to have to. I mean, they're going to run the ball. They can't throw it. They don't have a quarterback.
Okay. Yeah, that's funny. I'm sure Geno Smith appreciates that. Jamie, Zach, your sleeper pick for the week.
Oh, my sleeper pick is a Mr. Nico Collins.
Nice.
You know, I like him a lot. I think there's a lot of potential opportunity there. I mean, obviously the bad news that came out this offseason with their, early pick with now I'm just spacing out on his name. Their rookie, what was it? Why am I forgetting it now? For Houston.
Kenneth Walker.
No, for Houston.
Dameon Pierce, isn't it?
Yeah, no. I'm talking about the wide receiver. But
I didn't know that.
Anyways, but yeah, Nico Collins, he'll be the wide receiver too. I really like him there. He has chemistry. He showed some promise last year. He dealt with some injuries as well. But I think, that longer term opportunity in regards to him working with Davis Mills, I think there's a chance. Yeah, Mechie. Thank you, Henry. I don't know why I was struggling with that. I was spacing out on John Mechie. But now that Mechie's out, it's just Brandon Cooks and it's Nico Collins. Obviously, they have a couple tight ends too. But I mean, realistically, the two best weapons, obviously, Dameon Pierce has looked good so far. But the ones that have any sort of pedigree as of right now, Cooks, Collins. And I'm going to take Collins, especially if it's just more of a flyer. If I'm trying to go through my bench guys and see who I'm swapping in. Or if you're in a redraft league, he might be on the waivers too, because, 10-man leagues, the benches aren't usually too deep, and Collins can be available there. So you can consider him as well.
Jared, who do you have for sleeper?
Well,
any position?
Yeah, well, since my guy got sniped on me, I see you guys are up to a good start on the show. My guy was going to be Nico Collins. That's a great pick. Obviously, like you mentioned, the Colts are going to be ahead in this game. They're going to be playing from behind. There's not a lot of mouths to feed. Obviously, Indy's got good defense, but still playing from behind, you get that high volume. Nico looks like a pretty good value pick. But for me, mine's going to be a little pretty ugly. Like I'm talking super deep leagues. I'm talking like straight flyer out of the blue. It's Greg Dortch from the Arizona Cardinals. And the reasoning behind it is Zach Ertz could miss this game. I think that gives him a bump if he does. You're down to Hollywood Brown, AJ Green, who's like 150 at this point, and they're playing against the Kansas City Chiefs, who can't stop anything. So it's Greg Dortch. He's 3K on DraftKings. And for season long, I mean, I wouldn't play this guy in season long unless you're like completely desperate and you're in like a 20-man league. But I think someone's got to catch the ball. Hollywood is going to be great, but he can't catch every pass.
And one more quick sleeper for the wide receiver position as well that I've kind of been keeping my eye on is for Baltimore, Devin Duvernay. He's kind of worked his way into the wide receiver 2 role, realistically, just because they don't really have that many great options. But, there's been good reports as well with him. Obviously, it's Bateman as the primary wide receiver, but he's still secondary to Andrews in the passing game. But if you want another option, I mean, obviously, all of Lamar's targets aren't going to just be dump offs to the running back, to Andrews, and to Bateman. There will be some sprinkled elsewhere, and I expect most of that to go to Duvernay. So that's a guy that should be even more available in redraft. I mean, he's available in some dynasty as well, depending on how deep your leagues are. So that's another play there. And now I've been watching his projections. He's already up to almost 9 points for projection week 1 now.
All right, I have a question for all of you gentlemen. So we have wide receivers that are coming down with and tight ends that are coming down with hamstring injuries and ankle injuries, aka Michael Thomas, aka Zach Ertz, that are projected to play in the games. If you have a wide receiver on your roster that had not practiced because of injuries or practice limited because of hamstring, are you playing him today? Jared, Michael Thomas, for example.
I think Michael Thomas is going to play today. Like you said, the matchup is phenomenal. It depends. Like I wouldn't put Michael Thomas as your wide receiver 2 or higher. I'd put him at more in like your wide receiver 3 range if you have the option to. The best way to answer this question is to get in the Going For Discord and tag the TFS doc. That dude can tell you so much about injuries. It's unbelievable. Like I said, a lot of us, we're open to questions, and we'll try and lead you in the right way. When I think about injuries, I really like to talk to TFS Doc. He really has kind of like opened my eyes up, talking about certain injuries of certain players. I know one of the staples for him was he was really worried about Dalvin Cook this year, and the way he broke it down kind of made it a little bit more knowledgeable to me, because I don't think about injuries all that much. But would I play Michael Thomas today to answer the question? I would. I think he's in a really good spot against Atlanta.
Jamie.
I mean, if they're limited in practice, they're probably going to be on a snap count. So I'm most likely to sit for someone else, depending on who you have.
Okay.
But if you're in a bind, then yeah, I start them in a flex.
And Zach.
It's relative to the injury. If it's a major one where they were out,
we're talking Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas.
Yeah. But I saw Gerson's message in the chat too, where he was saying sit Godwin, start Thomas. But I would play. I would play Thomas for the most part. With me, if they're playing week 1 and they have a lingering issue, I'm fine with it, because realistically, if it's something bad enough entering week 1, they're probably just going to have them sit out and wait, because they don't want it to just get worse where suddenly they're missing a large chunk of the season. So if they're willing to play him week 1, I think that tells me the team's fairly confident it's nothing too bad and that he'll be 100%, or at least playing to the best of his ability that week.
Or he's a decoy.
Yeah.
I just want to answer this question in the YouTube chat. It says Mechie's going to be out all year. So.
Oh no, he was saying Mechie when I was talking about the Houston wide receiver earlier.
The wide receiver, yeah.
Yeah, when I was spacing out on which one I was.
Couldn't remember what his name was.
Yeah.
So
okay.
No. Yeah. Thank you though. I would be worried if he was asking about Mechie for his lineup.
Okay, so we can let everyone get in their lineups. Parting words, Jamie.
Njoku season, baby. Like, I'm sending Zach Ertz for him this week just because I heard they were going to put Zach Ertz on a snap count.
Right.
And love Njoku.
All right, so you agree with Gerson, which okay. Jared.
Yeah. Going into the season, play your players that you drafted early. Like, don't get cute week 1. Stick to the plan you have or that you originally had. Play the guys you drafted high. Like, don't sit there and be like, oh well, I might not play Chase Edmonds this week because Joe Blow Schmo on some podcast said that Greg Dortch was going to have a big day. Like, don't do something stupid. Like play your guys that you play. My player of the year, if you get to have Njoku season, I'm going to have Justin Jefferson season. I have him in like 80% of my teams, whether it's best ball and my redraft leagues. I have Justin Jefferson everywhere. And I've been joking, calling him JJ2K. I don't think he'll get 2K, but he's going to have a ton of receiving yards this year.
Zach.
I'm trying to think of which guy I want to stick with for my guy this year. I mean, I have so many. I'd probably have to go with I won't even go there. But in regards to teams, I actually factor in weather, factor in matchups. I know Jared's talking about if you took him high, you had these high hopes. But for me, if you did enough draft research ahead of time as well, you're going to have really good options to pick from on the bench, and that's where you need to make the tough decision. You have some weird, tricky start-sit options. I mean, I'm in a lot of those right now. And guess what? Look into those matchups. Treat it like a DFS almost. But I know Gerson wants me to talk about Christian Watson. But, my number one guy for fantasy this year is more so Cole Kmet at the tight end position. He's moved up to tight end 11 right now. I know for most of the offseason he's treated at tight end 14. But hey, I think this guy's going to finish roughly tight end 5, tight end 6 when the season's done. And, just good luck this year. Don't be shy and making trades. I know I'm always ready to talk about trades and promote people doing those, but if someone has a big week 1, big week 2, and you don't think it's going to maintain all year, find that sucker in your league that's going to pay high. Or if there's someone that, had a bad week 1, bad week 2, but you're like, okay, I know his floor is higher than that. Be aggressive in trading for them when the market's low. I know I did that a few years ago with Stephon Diggs when he was in his final year of Minnesota. First week I had him, scored 48 points, and I mean, I've been a very happy fantasy owner ever since. So be aggressive in trades, but, don't burn yourself either.
All right. So you guys remember, it's week 1. Get weird. Get weird. It's the only time you're going to be able to do that because you're using last year's stats to get your projections. No one knows what's going to happen. Go with your gut. Listen to these fine gentlemen who know what they're talking about, but go with your gut. Get weird. Also, download the app for No House Advantage. Going for 2. Get your $25 in. Get $25 more. Boom. You can pick any prop bets. I want to thank Garrison for being on, and then for his messages to Jared. I don't know what him and Jared have going on. It seems like a romance or something. But whatever.
Gerson actually, a fun story. I know some of you guys know this story, maybe not everybody, but Gerson actually flew out to Minnesota this year and visited me at my house.
Oh,
So we've actually become really good over the years in the fantasy world. So Gerson's a good guy. We bust each other's balls a lot, but
I love Garrison a lot. So, and Jamie, I want to thank you for being on.
Oh, thanks for having me.
No, we'll see you next week.
Yep.
We'll see you next week. Maybe not in Browns gear, but
Yeah, I'll wear something else. Don't want to embarrass myself again.
And Zach, of course, always a pleasure to have you on in your Packers gear, which, go for it. Yeah.
That'll probably be consistent. I mean, it's too bad Jared won't be here next week, so we could maybe talk about the game that's going to take place today. But
well, you don't know. Jared might show up, man.
We'll find an I'm sure we'll find an opportunity regardless.
Jared might sneak in here next week if Minnesota wins. You never know what's going to happen. All right, everyone, get your lineups in. Good luck, unless I'm playing against you. And then I don't really wish you good luck because that would be.
If I sneak in next week, I might come in with the horn just for you.
All right, you guys, everyone, thanks for listening. Good luck on your lineups. Good luck in your DFS. Good luck in your week, season long. We will see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Bye.